Hey Bonita gang, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, don't forget to click that subscribe button and hit the notification bell for every time I upload some new content. And this is the well-awaited story time. Ever since I announced last week that I am a full-time entrepreneur, I had a lot of DMs asking me like, why did I decide to do this? What happened with my job? You said you were doing so well. So I think it's just time to tell a story about like why I quit. So if you do not follow me on any social media platforms, you should. All my names are down below. And keep up with my day-to-day life. And if you're new here, my name is Tonisha, and I'm the CEO of Tempting Lips Cosmetics LLC, where beauty and beard care is made with you in mind. I do make a lot of beauty care products like body care. I want to say skincare because none of my products actually like fix skin conditions, but they are body care products. So I have like a black version of J&J's baby oil, and I call it the babe oil. I have a more organic version of a cocoa butter, and I make beard care for men, and I think it's probably the most, I said the most, it is the best beard care that's out there that is made from a small black woman-owned business, in my opinion. So if you ever want to check out my products, my website or my Etsy store is always linked down below. It's Tempting Lips, excuse me, cosmetics.etsy.com. And you'll be supporting me in my new journey of being a full-time entrepreneur. So let's get into the story. So I never really, oh my God, do you guys like ever like scratch your ear and it feels like so good? It feels like sex. Anyway, so I really never explained my job or what it was. I just explained that it could give me a very good opportunity, and it could have, but I just think this opportunity had hit my life at the wrong part of my life, like, and I'll get into that. So you guys know that I literally hated working for the driver's side of Amazon. The inside was not too bad. Like, I actually enjoyed working on the inside. I just hated working overnight. But I hated the driver's side. The driver's side, you rarely got any breaks. Actually, if you want me to go into details about like how it was really like being an Amazon driver, give this video a thumbs up and I'll actually do a story time about that. I'm not going to get too into this. Being an Amazon driver. But if you want to know what it's like to be an Amazon driver, just give it a thumbs up. Give this video a thumbs up and I'll talk about it in a whole separate video. But I hated it. It was too much like physically impacting on my body, and I'm a tiny person. Like, I am 5'1" and I am 120 pounds. Like, I am tiny. Half of the packages that I had were almost half my weight. Like, no. No, like, absolutely not. So I started looking for jobs. I love Indeed. Indeed is like my best friend when I'm ready to look for another job. So, and I really don't remember even coming across this company. I don't remember even remember seeing the name of this company. But if it was one of the jobs that I did apply for, it never mentioned commission based, which gets me, excuse me, which gets me all the time. Like, because I don't like commission based jobs. I've had one before. I've done life insurance before. Absolutely hated it, even though it's really good money, but you really need to know how to sell. Granted, I have a business and I know how to like market my products and everything like that. But it's just something with like commission-based jobs that just don't fit right with me. Because for one, you gotta work, it seemed like twice as hard just to make your money. And two, you don't have a guaranteed like pay amount per week, because most commission-based jobs are a weekly pay. But anyways, so whenever I had applied for this job, I probably got like a phone call probably like immediately, honestly. And they were like, hey, this is a marketing company. If you're still interested, we can get you an interview. And I was just like, cool beans, yes. I actually got that call when I was actually delivering packages for Amazon, and I was just like, yeah, when is, you know, the best time for me to talk to whoever? And they were like, I think they said like 10 o'clock in the morning, and that's when I had to be like at my station, clocked in at Amazon. And I was just like, yee, can't do that. And they was like, oh, it's a Zoom call. And I was like, oh, I can probably do that. And so yeah, she was like, you gotta dress professionally. And I was just like, oh, I can't do that, I'm a driver, so I'm gonna be in my, you know, my Amazon uniform. And she was like, oh, okay, that's fine, we'll just let your interviewer know, and blah blah blah. And I was just like, okay, cool. So we set up the interview for the next day at 10 a.m. So I went through the interviewing process with the actual manager of the company. Super sweet. Do I got a sale? What's that? That's not a sale. Yeah. And so I went through the interview through Zoom. It was like me and two other people. One girl, she was looking for part-time work, and this job was not part-time, so she was automatically like kicked to the side. And then me and this other guy was in the Zoom call, and she was asking us questions about like leadership roles, and if we knew stuff about marketing and entrepreneurship. And I was just like, oh yeah, I'm about to shit on this interview, because that's literally what my major was, and that's literally what my degree is in. So interview went really well. She told us that we'll know by 4 that afternoon if, you know, we got a second interview or not. And that was red flag number 1, because she told us that it was going to be 3 different interviews. 3. And I should know that from my past experience. Ouch. I should know that from my past experience when I did life insurance, because they did the same thing. 3 interviews. So I was like, okay, cool, you know, talk to you later, da da da. So I got a call at 4, and the rep that called me, she was like, yeah, you got a second interview tomorrow. It's going to be at such and such time, and come business casual. So since it was like so last minute, and I actually had to go to work for Amazon that day, I had like requested to put in my PTO, and I did that, went to the second interview, and that's when I met my trainee. So my trainee is not from America, and I didn't know that until after I got hired. So and this will all make sense of why I took the job after I explain all of this. So so English is not her first language, but she spoke it very well, but she didn't understand all the concepts of certain words in English. So it was me and one other girl who were in the interview for the second interview, and she was telling us what the job is. Basically, we were selling Verizon. We were basically selling internet, phone, TV to potential customers. So she was explaining that, and then she was explaining the pay breakdown of when you're in training, when you are in entry level, which was the role that I was in, team lead, assistant manager, and manager. So when she was going through the pay, I was just like, so there's no hourly pay? Because she was saying it was a weekly salary. That was her word of choice. She said it was a weekly salary. And so I was just like, so what's the pay? If it's X amount of money and we're working from such and such time, what's the pay? And she said, oh, it's performance based. And I was like, so it's not commission based? And she literally just shook her head. No, no, no. And I was like, all right, okay, I hear you. So after we went through the interview, she was asking us other questions about like our leadership roles that we had in the past. Can we manage a team on our own and everything like that. And after we went through that interview, she told us, we'll know if we have our last and final interview by 4 o'clock that evening. And I was just like, cool, no problem. And then I left. Went home and was just trying to figure out like what I was going to do, because I literally still had to go to Amazon. Well, technically next week. Well, that following Sunday, because that day that I had the second interview was technically my last day for the week. So I was just like, okay, well, if I get this job, like, how am I going to quit and da 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 da. And then like literally as soon as I got home, like it wasn't even 4 o'clock. Like I think I got out of the second interview at like 12:30. And like as soon as I got home, I got a call saying that I got a third interview. And I was just like, what? They like me. So I was all hyped because like the pay really attracted me. The program itself attracted me because it was giving me an opportunity that I didn't get anywhere else, where I worked with leadership positions, and that was learning how to hire people and learning how to do interviews. Like that was literally the only thing that's not on my resume that I need to learn how to do in order to be a manager anywhere. So when they told me I had my last and final interview the next day, I was like, okay, cool, you know, whatever. So next day, had my last interview, and it wasn't even an interview. It was basically them telling me that I got the job. These are the expectations. You start tomorrow. And I was just like, whoa! I gotta put in 2 weeks notice for Amazon. And then she was like, oh, we just hired someone that was an Amazon driver. You don't gotta put in a 2-week notice. And I was just like, not all companies are the same. So she was like, yeah, but you can start tomorrow, da 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 da. And I was just like, okay, let me just, you know, text my company and let them know, hey, you know, I'm not returning. And then he was like, well, when can your last day be? And I was just like, well, technically yesterday was my Friday, so I'm not coming back. That's basically what I said. I'm not coming back. And he was just like, dang, you were a really good driver. You were improving so much, and da 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 da. And I was like, whatever. No, I don't want to be there. So, I started the next day, and she was like, you know, showing me how to do the job. She gave me a script to learn, and da 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 da. And then I started talking to some more of the coworkers that was there, and I was just, you know how some people be when they get a new job and they be asking people what their first check was like. And I was talking to one of the guys, and he was just like, oh, this is a commission-based job. And I was like, come again? Pardon? He was like, yeah, this is a commission-based job. Didn't such and such tell you? And I was just like, I asked her that during the interview, and she told me no. And that's when he told me, oh, she probably don't know what commission means because she is not from America. And I was just like, ain't this some shit? And he was like, yeah, she likes to say performance-based a lot because they tell her to say that, but it's commission-based. And I was just like, I'm fucked. So I went to her and I was just like, dude, like I literally asked you 2 days ago if this job was commission-based. And she was like, it's performance-based. And I was just like, it's commission. Like commission means that you work. Like if you don't make a sale, you don't make money. And she was like, yeah, performance based. And I was just like, all right, whatever, okay. So went through training. I got out of training probably like, I got out of training like after a week or so, a week and a half or so. And as soon as I got out of training, I was doing very well, actually. Like I was doing very well, like extremely well. Based off of what some of the people was telling me, I was doing way better than some people when they had, you know, first got out of training. And that made me feel good. That means, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing, da 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 da. And so my trainer, she was being sent away for a different campaign. So she was going to be in a whole different state. And I was literally the only person on her team at this point. So when she had left, I really didn't have anyone there. So like every leader that was there kind of like adopted me. I was like the adopted child of everyone. It was kind of weird. So like I was being like trained with like different people, learning people's different like training styles, or like not training styles, but like how to like work the system that they had in order to, you know, get a sale. And it was just like, okay, you do it this way, you do it that way, how can I apply this to myself? And I just felt like I was overwhelmed because I was being trained by different people. So about 2 weeks ago, my production had went like, because I started to really be concerned if this job was going to be able to keep up with my lifestyle and keep up with my bills. So about 2 weeks ago, I had only made one sale. One sale equals X amount of money. So I was just like, nope. And then last week, the week that I quit, I had only did one sale, and I was just like, no, absolutely not. So I woke up like Thursday or Friday morning, and I was literally like crying because like I didn't know if I was going to be able to keep up with my bills with this job. I didn't know if like this job was really going to sustain me. And like literally as I'm like crying in my bed, I'm getting orders in from my business, and I'm just like, I built this from the ground up, and I am pushing this to the side. So I forgot to mention, I was working 6 days a week. I only had Sundays off. So literally 6 days a week, I am walking around trying to convince people to switch to Verizon. Even though Verizon is very good, I love Verizon. I have Xfinity in my house right now, and it's some shit. If my neighborhood was able to get Verizon, I would have Verizon. But right now, we can't. But just walking around for like 5 hours, 6 days out of the week, trying to convince people to, you know, switch over to Verizon, I was just like, I don't have the energy to like pour myself into my business. And I didn't like that, because my business is really what I want to do in life. Being an entrepreneur is really what I want to do in life. So I'm sitting here and I'm getting these 4 orders like coming in, and I'm just like, I'm quitting. Forget it. I'm going to try to push myself to be a full-time entrepreneur and, you know, still look for another job while I'm doing so. But I told myself I was going to quit. So I had texted the leader that had trained my trainer, who was kind of my immediate leader since she wasn't there. I texted him and I was just like, look, I'm not coming back. The program is amazing, but it's not for me right now. Literally all the people that were working there, majority of the people that's working there still live with their parents, don't have any real bills, don't have no real responsibilities. So it's just like, I'm like here, you know, trying to figure out how I'm gonna pay my bills and crap. And if they miss a check or whatever, or like their check is short, they're still fine until the next week where they could improve upon their performance. And I just felt like I couldn't do that. So I texted him, and he was just like, are you serious? Like, is this a joke? Like, you're doing so well. Like, yeah, you had a bad 2 weeks, but like, you have a lot of potential. And I was just like, this opportunity just came to me at the wrong point in my life. I felt like if I would have, you know, got this job when I was a little bit younger and like didn't have so many responsibilities, I would have been a beast at this job. I could have put all of my focus into this job. But right now, my focus is my business. That's my baby. So yeah, that's why I quit my job, because I felt like it was taking too much of my time, and it just wasn't for me at this point in my life. So now I am a full-time entrepreneur until I find something else. So if you want to support me in any type of way, you can always shop my beauty and beard care line. Like I said, the website's always linked down below. You can follow me on all my social media platforms, so you can share my content and so it can reach more people. I'm still doing OnlyFans on the side a little tiny bit. So if you want to indulge in that, I'll leave that down in the description as well. So that's my story time for today. If you like this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And as always, I love you guys, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye.